They tell you to grind while they sleep. They plaster clips of Vegeta screaming in the rain to sell you the idea that suffering is the only path to the top. But that's a scam. Nobody suffered more than Vegeta. He nearly killed himself in the gravity room, sacrificing sleep and peace of mind. The result? He never surpassed Goku. Hustle culture didn't build a king. It built an exhausted, bitter second place. Brute force without wisdom isn't discipline. It's just masochism. Look at your feed right now. It's filled with 20-year-old gurus telling you to wake up at 4 a.m., take ice baths, and work 16 hours a day until your eyes bleed. They sell you the idea that success is a simple math equation. Input equals output. If you are not winning, it's simply because you aren't suffering enough. And for decades, Vegeta was the poster boy for this philosophy. He is the patron saint of the modern hustler. While Goku was fishing, eating, or literally sleeping, Vegeta was in the gravity room at 400 times Earth's gravity, breaking his bones and pushing his body until it collapsed. On paper, Vegeta should be untouchable. He puts in more hours. He takes it more seriously. He wants it more. So why is he always one step behind? Why does the clown who treats fighting like a hobby constantly outperform the prince who treats it like a war? This is what Aldous Huxley called the law of reversed effort. It states that the harder you consciously try to do something, the less successful you will be. Think about it. Have you ever tried to force yourself to fall asleep? The more you stress about not sleeping, the more awake you become. The more you force a conversation to be charismatic, the more awkward it gets. Vegeta is trapped in this paradox. He believes that if he just screams louder and trains harder, the universe will finally bend to his will. But the universe doesn't reward effort, it rewards alignment. Vegeta's training isn't efficient, it's performative. He isn't training to get better, he is training to punish himself for not being good enough. There is a massive difference. When you operate from a place of, I am not enough, your body is flooded with cortisol. You are in a constant state of fight or flight. You are rigid, you are heavy, you are slow. Meanwhile, Goku trains with a spirit of curiosity. He isn't trying to prove anything to anyone. He just wants to see what happens if he pushes a little further. This lack of internal resistance allows him to access a level of power that Vegeta's anxiety literally blocks him from reaching. But here is the uncomfortable truth that most motivational videos won't tell you. Hard work is often just a hiding place. We grind ourselves to dust because it's easier to be busy than to be effective. It's easier to suffer in the gym for 4 hours than to admit that your strategy is wrong. Vegeta uses the gravity room to hide from the fact that his entire approach to power is flawed. He thinks the problem is his power level, but the problem is his mindset. He is trying to fuel a Ferrari with diesel. It doesn't matter how much fuel you pour in, the engine is going to break. And that brings us to the darkest part of the hustle trap. Let's dig deeper into the psychology of why we do this. Why do we subscribe to a culture that glorifies burnout? Why did Vegeta spend years chasing a ghost? It wasn't ambition. It was fear. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist, spoke extensively about the shadow, the parts of ourselves we refuse to acknowledge. For Vegeta, his shadow is his deep-seated inferiority complex. Every push-up, every energy blast, every scream was a desperate attempt to silence the voice in his head that whispered, "You are a failure." When your entire drive is built on the foundation of, "I must beat Kakarot to have value," you are fueling your engine with poison. Sure, insecurity is a powerful fuel. It burns hot and fast. It can get you out of bed early. It can make you work weekends. But it's a dirty fuel. It corrodes the engine over time. This is why hustle culture is so dangerous for men in their late 20s and 30s. We are told that we need to hate our current reality to build a better one. We are told to look in the mirror and get angry. But you cannot build a kingdom on a foundation of self-loathing. Eventually, the structure collapses. Look at the Majin Buu arc. Vegeta literally sells his soul to Babidi just to get a power boost. He let himself be possessed, returning to his evil roots, all because he thought his humanity and his peace were making him weak. He thought that by shedding his attachments and returning to pure, ruthless grind, he would finally win. And what happened? He still couldn't beat Goku. Even with magic steroids and zero morals, he couldn't bridge the gap. Why? Because he was still fighting against himself. He was still tight. He was still desperate. Goku, on the other hand, accepts his limits. Remember when he surrendered to Cell? Vegeta was furious. He couldn't comprehend it. But Goku knew something Vegeta didn't. You have to know when to stop pushing. You have to know when the tank is empty. Goku's strength comes from integration. He accepts his Saiyan instincts and his earthling heart. Vegeta spent decades trying to amputate his emotions, thinking they were dead weight. This is the trap of the modern grind. We think that if we just become robots, emotionless, sleepless, relentless productivity machines, we will win. But humans aren't robots. We are biological organisms that need rhythm, rest, and purpose. When you strip away everything that makes you human in the name of success, you don't become a Super Saiyan. You just become a hollow shell with a high salary and a heart condition. Vegeta was fighting a war on two fronts, one against Goku and one against his own nature. And you cannot win a war when you are fighting yourself. But there is a way out. There is a state of being where the effort disappears and the results explode. The angels know it. Goku mastered it. And it took Vegeta years to finally understand it. This is where the philosophy gets practical. If grinding yourself to dust doesn't work, what does? The answer lies in a concept that Whis has been trying to drill into Vegeta's thick skull for years. Wu Wei. In Taoism, Wu Wei translates to inexertion or effortless action. It doesn't mean laziness. It means action without friction. It means swimming with the current, not against it. Think about Ultra Instinct. It is the ultimate manifestation of Wu Wei. The body moves without thought. The mind is empty. There is no hesitation, no anxiety, no, am I doing this right? There is only pure, unadulterated action. Goku achieves this because he lets go of the outcome. He isn't worried about winning or losing. He is fully immersed in the fight itself. This is what psychologists call the flow state. In flow, the ego dissolves. Time dilates. You aren't trying to perform. You are the performance. Vegeta couldn't achieve Ultra Instinct for the longest time because his ego was too loud. His mind was constantly analyzing, comparing, and judging. Damn it, Kakarot is faster. I need to hit harder. I cannot lose. These thoughts are mental friction. They are micro breaks that slow down your reaction time. Every time you worry about the result, you pull yourself out of the moment. You cannot be in flow and in fear at the same time. But here is the brilliant twist that Dragon Ball Super gave us, and it's a crucial lesson for anyone watching this. Vegeta realized he couldn't be Goku. He couldn't just let go and be empty. That's not his nature. So, did he fail? No. He found his own path. He developed Ultra Ego. If you're finding value in this breakdown and want to master your own mind, make sure to hit that like button. It helps the algorithm find other warriors who need to hear this. And if you're not subscribed yet, join us. We're building a community of men who want real growth, not just hype. Back to Ultra Ego. This form is the opposite of Ultra Instinct, yet it achieves a similar result. Instead of dodging and emptying his mind, Vegeta embraces the damage. He uses his passion, his pride, and even his battle lust as fuel. But this time, it's controlled. It's intentional. He stopped trying to copy Goku's path of peace and found power in his own nature. This is the key. The hustle culture scam tells everyone to follow the same routine. Wake up at 4 a.m., meditate, journal. But maybe you're not a Goku. Maybe you're a Vegeta. Maybe your power doesn't come from tranquility. Maybe it comes from intensity. The mistake wasn't the intensity. The mistake was the resistance. Vegeta stopped hating himself for not being Goku and started leaning into who he actually is. He stopped swimming upstream. He realized that his river flows differently. And the moment he accepted that, he closed the gap. He proved that you don't have to become someone else to be great. You just have to stop fighting your own design. But to truly unlock this, you have to make peace with the one thing Vegeta spent his whole life running from. So, where does this leave us? Is hard work useless? Should we all just sit under a tree and wait for enlightenment? Absolutely not. The lesson of Vegeta isn't that effort is bad. The lesson is that effort without alignment is a tragedy. Vegeta's redemption arc in the Granola and Moro sagas is a masterclass in what Nietzsche called amor fati, the love of one's fate. For the first time in his life, Vegeta isn't training to be better than Kakarot. He is training to be the best version of Vegeta. He apologizes to the Namekians for the atrocities he committed in the past. He acknowledges his sins not with shame, but with responsibility. He stops running from his shadow and integrates it. This is the death of the toxic hustle and the birth of true mastery. When you stop trying to force outcomes and start focusing on the quality of your actions, the results take care of themselves. The grind becomes sustainable only when it comes from a place of love, not lack. Think about the projects you're working on right now. Are you doing them because they light a fire in your soul? Or are you doing them because you're terrified of being average? Are you pushing yourself because you want to see how far you can go, or because you hate where you are? The difference seems subtle, but it's the difference between burnout and breakthrough. Vegeta spent decades banging his head against a wall, thinking the wall would break. It never did. The moment he stopped, looked around, and found the door, he walked through. The hustle culture gurus are selling you a sledgehammer and telling you to hit the wall. They don't tell you there's a door handle. You don't need to suffer to be worthy. You don't need to bleed to be valid. The universe doesn't owe you a victory just because you haven't slept in 3 days. Real power comes when you stop fighting the war against yourself. It comes when you align your work with your nature. So, look at your routine. Look at your goals. If you feel like you're in the gravity room at 400 times gravity, crushing your own bones just to keep up, stop. Turn the gravity down. Breathe. Find your own rhythm. Maybe your path isn't about doing more. Maybe, just like the prince of all science finally learned, it's about being more. The throne is waiting, but you'll never sit on it if you're too exhausted to climb the steps.